Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Procurement, the only show you need to master the art of procurement. Let's go. You never forget that.
Spot on.
And it's the brain.
I feel like you're doing an impression of me when you say it, weirdly. Like your voice changes.
Yeah, maybe I am, subconsciously. Maybe I'm just trying to be you.
Well, I have to admit, we've got a listener that we've left hanging for 3 months. He asked a question, and I think you answered it on a WhatsApp voice note, but I didn't have the skill set to turn that into something for the pod. So if I read out his message, his life's probably changed completely in the 3 months since. But maybe you can answer it for him, because I think it's a you question. Hi guys, I really enjoyed the recent pod. It's obviously recent, probably means series 1 or something. I just wanted to say thanks for the tips. I appreciate it. Quick update from my side. The job hunt's going okay, but it's been tough getting into buyer/purchasing and procurement assistant roles, since most places want experience already. I've also been trying to get into procurement graduate roles, but it's been very competitive. That said, I've had a good response from an apprenticeship role that covers my CIPS Level 4, and I'm now at the final stage. The interview is in the next couple of days, so fingers crossed. Yep, good luck. Also, quick question for you both. What's one skill you picked up later in your career that you now think is really important and wish you'd started working on earlier? And what actually makes someone stand out early on in a procurement role? Thanks again for the advice and for putting out a great podcast. Looking forward to the next. The one and only G1 Galos, pronounced Galos. Galos, yeah. G1. Let's take it over. The G1 is here. He's going to find a G10 at some point.
G1, I like that. I don't know why I didn't put that together. G1 and Luke 1. But yeah, Galos, thanks for getting in touch via the text us function in the description, right? Well, if the interview was in the next couple of days, and this was, what, February?
February the 24th.
They either smashed the interview and have been working at a company for 3 months and don't need any of our advice, or they failed the interview. I suppose that's not really a thing. Can you fail an interview? Maybe that's a philosophical question.
Unsuccessful.
Maybe they were unsuccessful in the interview. What did they say? It's been very competitive, for sure. The job market, not that I would really know.
Well, you created a vacancy.
Say again?
You created a vacancy, so
I created a vacancy. Yeah, I helped the job market out. Yeah.
Good man.
And I think graduate roles is also kind of even more competitive, right? Because all people that have kind of like gone through the same experiences and are trying to get the same jobs, I guess.
At the same time as well.
Yeah. By the way, do we know if this is a man or a woman or a non-binary? Or
Is that relevant?
I'll just say they pronouns.
Is that relevant?
I just wanted to get my pronouns. You know me. They. I'll go with they. They said, I've had a good response from an apprenticeship role, covers my CIPS Level 4. So that is, I'm assuming, I think there's only one apprenticeship for procurement. There might be more, but I did the apprenticeship in commercial procurement and supply, which was really good. I'd definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to get into procurement, even if you're not like of typical apprenticeship age, if you want to think about it that way. It encouraged me to go and find out things about the company and about procurement that I wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah.
Because you have to evidence. I mean, this is going back some years now, but I think I remember you have to be shaking his head. You have to evidence knowledge, skills, and something else. Knowledge, skills, and context. Or I can't remember what it is, but you basically have a list of competencies, I guess, that you have to go and find out for your ends, to kind of pass your checkpoint. So yeah, that in that way, I definitely, and that gave me permission from my employer as well to go and like ask different people about their work and stuff. And it was kind of like, well, he's not just snooping around being weird. He is actually like, he needs to do this for his apprenticeship. I mean, he is weird anyway, but you know, he's snooping around because of his apprenticeship, right? So yeah, fingers crossed that you got that job in February. Quick questions for us both. I mean, this is a classic short story, long answer for me. What's one skill you picked up later in your career that you think is really important? One, I don't know if I can really talk about later in my career because I'm not that far into it, right? But back when I was working, was having a call with a difficult supplier who it was their, you know, they were causing problems in a bid that we were putting together, and they were making things more difficult. It was, you know, none of the issues that were occurring were the fault of the company that I was working for.
Yeah.
And then when we got on the call, the sales guy from their company started getting really defensive and like was on the verge of shouting basically. And the other person who I was on the call with, the other representative of procurement, was really calm about it, and he kind of like, you know, if in that situation you're really annoyed at the company for not doing their bit and they're getting really annoyed that they're being put under pressure, I think a lot of people would kind of like fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
But this guy, he just like fought fire with water. I don't know if that's a phrase, but he just calmed the situation down. The call actually ended up being quite positive by the time we got the other company to kind of commit to doing some things by the next call we were going to have. And instead of it being like a big argument, everyone falling out, it turned into a really good positive call. So I don't really know how to sum that up in one word, but that's what I'd say. Kind of like
what I could take from that is you're kind of saying to be more wet, right?
Absolutely, be more wet. Yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense. I think you just kind of basically, I don't know how to sum that up, but that's a skill that I think I was really impressed by that. The way that he just kind of calmed the whole situation down and flipped it right back around. And then obviously the sales guy, I think he felt a bit guilty for shouting at us. We wasn't shouting, but kind of on the verge of shouting. And then he was then also more agreeable to things as well in some ways.
Fair enough. I think for me, it's been learning that you've got your own objectives, so prioritize them. I know it sounds really weird, but in procurement, you get so many people after things from you as the procurement person, telling you this is urgent, that's urgent, you need to do this, you need to do that. Actually, you as an individual are measured on certain things, probably savings, probably, I don't know, supply chain management, whatever it is. If what you are being asked to do isn't helping you achieve your goals, then it's not your priority. So just really learning that my priority is your priority isn't my priority, basically, which I think is a really important skill to remember. And as soon as you start doing that, you have the support of your management because they know you're working on your collective goal as a team rather than just doing non-priority bits for other people.
Yeah, and I think that kind of answers the next question that G1 asked as well, which was what actually makes someone stand out early on in the procurement role. And obviously, if you're thinking about the perspective of the big bosses who have got to report their progress on their targets, if you're always a kind of like reliable contributor to the good news and to their targets, then you're going to stand out in a good way, right? I mean, they did say stand out, so you could try and stand out in a bad way. But,
you could, yeah.
You know, that's just my tactic, right?
You could do something simple. So if you notice that your manager always parks in the same place when they turn up in the office, get there a little bit earlier, take their spot. Something like that. Yeah, get in there nice and early. Oh, the new kid's just taken my spot. Instantly on the radar.
Yeah. Maybe a mullet could work.
That's a bit more.
Stand out.
That's a bit more travel in the world than it is corporate office. But yeah.
You're saying if I come back to work, I can't keep them on it?
That's not my call, mate. You do you.
I feel like it's becoming a part of me. I feel lost. I feel lost without it.
What's interesting is it looks better from behind. Which I know sounds really weird, but like from the front, you kind of still look the same, but then you turn around and it's improved.
What's the phrase? Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah. I kind of think unemployed in the front, party in the back is probably more appropriate.
Yeah, it does need a bit of a trim, to be fair. Needs a bit of smartening up.
Don't worry, mate.
Yeah, only a select few people know, because I don't know. I've not showed anyone for some reason. Kept it secret, kept it hidden.
I might circulate it on the next catch up with our mutual friends.
The next team meeting, have a whole agenda point about my hair.
Yeah, we do have some time slots to fill, so I'm sure we can put 20 minutes in for that. No, I love it. Okay, cool. So Galos, which I think is a girl, by the way, because it's Carlos with a G. G stands for girl. It could be guy, actually. I think it's a dude, but we'll just go with them. So thank you them for your getting in touch. Do let us know if you got the job, and if any of our advice that was released well ahead of time has helped you in any way, shape or form, because that's what we're here for.
How to do the recordings, and well, assuming this one works, now we know how to do the recording. Hopefully we'll be quicker at getting stuff sorted, getting things replied to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just surprised you've managed to commit some time, so I'm well happy with that. So what was it you wanted to cover today, by the way?
Okay, so the meat of today's episode is going to be us looking through r/procurement on Reddit. I don't know if many people are on that subreddit. I think that's what it's called. But there's quite a few questions that get put in there. Some interesting, some just like rants about a few things, which is one of the ones that we've got here. It's labelled as a rant, so that's helpful. It's from u/cocaine_trillionaire. So it's going to be a serious question when that comes up. Is procurement/supply chain the highest stress corporate role? Is the title of the post. I've been working in procurement/supply chain all my life. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like this field is just constant pressure from every direction. When finance delays payments to suppliers, operations comes to me asking why materials are late or why suppliers are holding back. I'm stuck trying to explain something I don't even control. Then when operations wants very specific items urgently, management pushes back saying there must be cheap alternatives or that I should have negotiated better when timelines are impossible and supplies are limited. What makes it worse is that if things go right, nobody really notices. But if anything is late or costs more than expected, procurement is the first place everyone looks. Compared to that, it's more of a rant. I look at HR and marketing, it feels like their stress is more contained within their own world. Going to skip that bit of the rant. They obviously have pressure too, but it feels more structured, blah, blah, blah. In procurement, it feels like carrying responsibility for operations, finance timings, supplier performance, internal expectations and management pressure all at once. The finance manager comes to me, in capitals, asking why the suppliers haven't been paid. Maybe it gets better with experience, but right now it just feels like I'm always the one getting squeezed from every side. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Luke?
If I'm being completely honest, if your Reddit username is Cocaine Trillionaire, you probably shouldn't be a procurement manager or any sort of professional. Probably need to go up first.
Cocaine Billionaire. That's all right, is it?
Yeah. It's an ambitious sort of title, isn't it? I think, like any role, it can be stressful. I think everyone deals with stress differently. I think one of the best things about procurement is that you have exposure to people at the kind of higher levels of the company. So you could be in a relatively junior role, but speaking to board level Could be speaking to executives, depending on your organisation kind of size and layout. But if you don't like that exposure, then you're going to feel the pressure of being in that environment. So I feel like he or she has had a bad day, and they've kind of just gone to town a little bit. I do like one of the comments though. I don't know if you've seen it. So it's in my view, what makes the procurement function unique is because it's got significant strategic and tactical pressure, which I quite like actually, because that's saying you've got it from your kind of company's long-term vision, but also the day-to-day stuff.
I think that it's not, I wouldn't say it's the most high pressure. I think that there are definitely other roles that are more pressured, but I do empathise with the part about when things go right, no one notices.
Yeah.
I've definitely said that before, haven't I, when comparing being a procurement professional to being a referee, in terms of when you do a good job, it's kind of like expected, that's how it should be done, and that's things on time is how it should be. I think it pays pretty well, especially at the stressful kind of jobs like the directors and the CPOs, chief procurement officers. But I don't know, I think supply chain is probably more high pressure than procurement. You're dealing with kind of like logistics and trucks that need to be in a specific place at a specific time, whereas just if you're in kind of like, I don't know, intangible, is that even the right phrase? I don't know, I've lost all my procurement knowledge. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're procuring something physical like an item, potentially that is more stress than something intangible like a service. It's just got to be delivered at some point. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yes, I do. The only other thing in this post that I found really interesting is obviously they mentioned, a couple of users mentioned about the logistics and getting things on time, and saying that's a lot more stressful because of the knock-on consequences. But also sales. A lot of people saying sales is more stressful. How do you feel about
that? I think sales is probably more personal stress, if that makes sense. You've got to kind of put up a bit of a act being sales, and then haven't you sales then? You've kind of got to like try and be genuine while also trying to sell things, which is hard. And also a lot of sales jobs get paid in commission. So if you aren't selling, then you ain't getting paid, I suppose, which is going to add to the stress. I think in procurement, because the stress that comes from procurement in terms of the sales aspect is you're suspicious of things, and you're trying to see, I think maybe you always got that kind of suspicious head on, like, this salesperson can bring me 10 days consultancy for free. What are they going to do with those 10 days? Are they going to try and get into my company and work out how to expand their business? Probably.
Yeah, and how do you limit it and all
so
that
maybe
stuff?
The stress from that sales side comes from being more skeptical and always thinking what could go wrong. But I don't know. I've never worked in sales, so I couldn't tell you.
No, I mean, I did some sales, but it was commission when you did well, no commission if you didn't. But it didn't really affect like the kind of base salary and stuff, which is, I think, is fairly typical. But it wasn't like a life-changing commission either, so it wasn't really like the team as a whole weren't really fussed. It was just like, hopefully we hit it. If not, we'll probably get over it.
If you get a bit more money.
Yeah, basically. I can see it, because obviously if it is your livelihood depends on you doing, like, I don't know, selling X amount of cars a month, then you're having 2 bad months in a row. That could be quite bad. But I think that takes us nicely on to the next post from Cool Kiwi 1, which is, has anyone negotiated a salary based on savings? So I've seen some posts about bonuses based on commission, but have you actually successfully negotiated a raise or a salary based on your savings achieved? For example, I've saved about $6 million over the last 2.5 years for the company alone. The company's annual spend is about $15 million. However, I've only achieved annual raises around CPI.
We'll be back after a quick break.
A predator is stalking the hills of Shropshire, murdering and shaving young women, turning them into human mannequins. Rookie detective Cora Steele's time is running out. She must catch this demented psychopath before the bodies start stacking up. The Mannequins by C. Thomas R. Bell dares to ask the question, how are monsters made? Available on Amazon, free on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because savings are measured differently throughout, in a lot of different companies, as in what counts or doesn't count as saving, or a cost avoidance, or a whatever other word that someone's going to come up with. And I think as well, I would potentially have a problem if I was, a director or a possible procurement team with giving out bonuses based on savings because of that kind of definition aspect. And I think it's probably gives rise to the possibility that people could inflate the savings number. Like, for example, just some companies will count a saving that, like, supplier originally said they were going to charge 100 grand, now they're going to charge 8 grand. That's my negotiation. Is that a saving? How are you able to verify that, basically? Sometimes I'm sure.
If obviously now you're not employed by anyone, you can be open about this question. Have you personally ever overinflated or said something's bigger than it actually was?
No, I have not. I can say that. Instead, I doesn't sound honestly, but maybe I haven't done that because the company I worked for didn't get any extra benefit. Or, I mean, obviously, apart from the kind of kudos of hitting your savings target, you didn't get any extra, like, I don't know, meal with the CEO or something, or free beer or something. I don't know. It's just like, oh, well, then you hit your savings target this year.
Yeah, nice one. Pat on the back.
Yeah. Now what? Yeah. The kind of the consensus, that's what I'm looking for. The consensus of the people who have replied to this post on Reddit seems to be that no one really gets a percentage of their savings, but some people seem to get, like, if the team hits a target, then they get more money, which I don't mind the idea of that, because it's rather,
you were being carried by the rest of the team.
You're just trying to hit the target, right? You're not trying to hit a specific number and get a percentage of that number. Just get a generic, like 500 quid or something.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the other bit on the post is that it can lead to adverse behaviour in that you reduce the quality and everything. You basically do everything you can just to pick the cheapest option. So cheap isn't always the best. And I know we've discussed in other episodes, like, moving towards picking the most viable option more so than just the cheapest. So it is everything else that you factor in as well in terms of its long-term kind of total cost and everything else. So which I agree with, but interestingly, the sales is a very, very big commission-based role, and in a lot of organisations, they don't typically assess the quality of what a salesperson has sold. So actually, you get a lot of those adverse kind of consequences or whatever in sales already by its nature. You know, the whole sleazy car salesman sort of classic anecdote where they're selling you a dud car for double the market price because you're innocent. That sort of thing. So if it's okay in sales, I mean, I would be all for it to become a sleazy procurement professional. You know? bring in some cheap ass fake widgets from China and cash in on my bonus.
Exactly. And someone said it's archaic to think of procurement as purely a cost-saving tool rather than a strategic function. That's inherently what this does. Once sourcing looks to save money by chasing lower quality and riskier inputs and services. I mean, if you work for a company that is targeting just the cheapest, that's their target for them to do the cheapest thing possible, not care about anything else like quality or human rights or sustainability, then you know, maybe in that case it would be good to have it based on savings, commission based on savings.
Yeah, and I think it's right, and I think that the general procurement person is probably a bit more adverse to spending money. So why would they dish out incentives around money? You know, it's like a finance team trying to give bonuses to finance people. It doesn't really happen unless you're a banker, which is slightly different because they're motivated on transaction volumes and stuff like that. So you're in sales, they love bonuses because more motivation. But
yeah, and I think as well the other thing we haven't said yet is that it would probably result in a lower base salary. I guess procurement people generally can be quite risk averse. So would many people be willing to trade in a lower base salary for higher potential earnings? Maybe not, depending on the situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What should we do for the next one? I kind of like the title of this one from Background Scar 7096. I don't know if we should be saying these full. I mean, they post in the public forum, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Procurement is starting to feel like 80% chasing people and 20% actual decision making. A little bit Pareto in the title. I like it. Lately, I've been realizing that procurement, at least in a smallish team, seems to involve way less actual buying than people think. What I imagined was comparing suppliers, making trade-offs, deciding who makes sense, and moving things forwards. What I actually do all day is chase missing information. I'm waiting on one supplier to confirm lead times, another to resend a quote because numbers changed, someone internally to approve packaging detail, someone else to clarify whether the NOQ we asked for is still acceptable. And then I circle back to the conversation from 3 days ago because this one answer created two new questions. By the end of the day, I've touched 14 things and maybe closed maybe one. That's the part that's wearing me down. It's not even one dramatic problem, it's constant fragmented follow-up. Tiny loose ends everywhere all day. Some days it just feels like my real job is keeping half-finished conversations from collapsing. Please tell me this is a normal phase and not just a sign that our process is a mess.
Wow. There's some deep responses on this as well.
Yeah.
Think a bit about the other way around. Why would your role be even necessary if it wasn't for being a connector to the human world? Does that make you feel better?
I feel like a classic Reddit answer. Most people saying sounds about right, normalish.
There's babysitting, and then there's carrying the baby to full term, feeding it, burping it, and putting it down for a nap.
Yeah, I do give my personal opinion on this. I do feel I empathise with what they're saying, and I definitely felt the same. I think we are in a weird. This is my problem with the procurement profession, really, I suppose. Especially the non-category management roles, is that you are buying things for people who know about them. You don't really have much knowledge of products you're buying, and I don't know if you really expected to. You're not a category manager because you're going to be buying so many different things to have an in-depth knowledge, or at least a good enough knowledge to know how to reply to supplier questions is not something that you're going to be able to get that kind of depth of knowledge So yeah, that was I empathise with that, and that was probably one of the reasons why I chose to go travelling instead of find another procurement job. Just do something different for a bit and see how I feel about going back into the world of procurement work after that. I think potentially if you were a category manager, or at least you had the same products coming up a lot in what you're buying, maybe it's less chasing people for answers about stuff. But I do definitely empathise with chasing this person for that. And
I don't know if that's exclusive to procurement though. I feel like it can feel like it is, but a lot of it is, and it goes back to one of the points earlier around everyone's got their own priorities, right? So like a sales leader will be focusing on their new deal, so that they probably won't respond to questions around a deal they've just brought in as quick as they should do. And little things like that which result in you chasing somebody else for something that's your priority but not theirs. And that kind of just creates that cycle. So I don't know if it is just procurement, but I don't know why I'm feeling quite positive about procurement at the moment. As you might be able to tell.
There's any good deals today? You working today? Did you do any?
I was working.
Did you do any waiting on suppliers to confirm lead times and other tools? Both the numbers change. Someone internally to approve packing detail, etc., etc. I feel like these were the kind of things that I was emailing about daily. Yeah. I can see there's a few people in the comments saying, yeah, I think I'm leaving procurement, unfortunately, because it's this. And other people saying that they left procurement already because of this.
They don't know. They don't know what. Your colleagues don't know what procurement is. You have to just elaborate to them, don't you? If you're chasing them regularly, things won't get done. Just nip it in the bud nice and early and say, look, if you don't respond within a week, this is the consequence, and it's on you, basically. And you can. Sometimes we're a bit too nice, and you can be a bit blunt and aggy with people because they sure as hell throw you under the bus if they have to. And actually, you do find that being a bit blunt sometimes does have its advantages as well.
I think probably if you work for I was going to say a bigger company, but it might be worse. I don't know. If you work for a company that's got some good systems, like, for example, one of the things that they said was chasing, what was it? I don't know, chasing a supplier.
It was late payments or something, wasn't it?
You've got to chase someone else about that. You've got a payment system already. Can't that be done automatically? Maybe that's a benefit or an efficiency that could bring into the team. And I don't know how many of them you could cut out systems, although you don't want to have too many systems, do you?
No.
It's a question that will never be solved. Top 10 things procurement science can't solve.
Good way to end that one, I think.
Cool. Go on, you choose the next one. I think we've got 2.
I quite like the strategic one.
Yeah.
By Bison. Future of procurement. I moved into a head of procurement role a few months ago with a new employer. Thought it was going to be what I had built my career towards, and now I'm realising it's everything but. I am my own worst enemy. Since I've started, the owner has appointed a new C-suite. A big push for AI and automation has kicked off. I've had several colleagues terminated in the last few weeks, which has triggered some tough conversations at home. My role when I got hired was to build a greenfield procurement function. In a few months, the idea of actually building a department has been squashed as I realise this is a solo operation. For years, I've built tools and automations to make myself and the job easier to get more done. I'm now realising the only reason I haven't been terminated yet is because I've demonstrated the ability to make myself obsolete. I see a lot of people saying procurement can't be AI'd away, and I'm just not seeing that be the case. It's a solution.
Wow, that's a deep one.
Yeah, I think he's just thought he'd landed a big job, head of procurement. Rocked out, the people he was managing have been let go, and now he's the head of himself, basically. and just trying to do it all as a one-man band.
Yeah, there's the classic, on the AI part, there's someone's commented that classic phrase about AI won't replace procurement professionals who master AI will.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for that. I think it's tough for Bison, B-U-Y-S-E-N, I quite like that name.
I quite like that. Better than cocaine billionaire. Billionaire.
Billionaire, yeah. Because they've obviously come into thinking they're going to be able to like start something and design a function, right? I guess for a lot of people that's quite appealing, to build something the way that you want and get it working. They said the owner has appointed a new C-suite, and the big push for AI and automation has kicked off big time. So have the priorities of that role been, it seems like they've been informally changed. Have they been formally changed? Maybe that's something that you could, or Bison could chat to the owner of this company about and say, look, this is what I thought I was hired for. Now it feels like you're going in that direction. I can be of help to you this way. Does this work? That maybe a solution. And then I think that also reinforces you in the owner's mind. It's like, hey, this person is going to help me hit my goals, so I'll try and keep them around for as long as possible.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's just another one where it feels like a rant more than a practical problem a little bit, in that he's bagged himself a new job and it's not what he'd dreamt of. And you've got to feel for them a little bit, but equally, I don't think every procurement function's in that situation. I think what we're seeing is some are expanding, some are looking at alternative ways of structuring themselves. Every profession is going to be impacted to some extent.
Yeah.
But like, that's the future, isn't it? You can't stop it. You can't hide in a ditch and ignore it. You've just got to embrace it, really.
Yeah, I think that it's like relationships are still going to be important in
100%
business transactions, and I think for at least the next few years, procurement's going to be important because I'm sure we've definitely said this before, but when the economy slows down, I don't know if that's the right term, but what I'm trying to say is when people start spending less money rather than like trying to get in more sales, what a lot of businesses focus on is trying to reduce costs. Obviously that might come with workforce reduction, but that also might come with like trying to find cheaper alternatives or looking through a bill of materials and working out what can be cut or what alternatives there are, right? Procurement's definitely going to be involved in those sort of discussions.
Yeah, and I don't know if it'll ever get to the point where an AI judgment is able to be the final judgment with a degree of confidence that's equivalent to what you would expect from a procurement professional or any professional for that matter, because you can put the same question into AI, 5 different AI models, and you'll get different answers. You can ask them to do a price comparison and it will come back with price results that don't match what you can obtain by having a conversation. Just things like that. So yeah, it does feel like we're a bit far away from that point, but equally get ahead of it. You can get ahead of it by listening to our episode on AI with Dr.
So it was probably like a year ago now, maybe even 18 months.
Oh yeah, but still a great episode though, and I think maybe we should catch up with Dr. Wang and see what he's kind of been doing over the last year and a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been busy.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to add for that?
No, I'm ready to move on to the next one from mysterious_tech30. Need advice regarding procurement jobs. Hey guys, my background is in organic growth marketing. I used to run my own marketing agency, and right now testing one of my products. At the same time, I'm also looking for procurement jobs. I read some of your comments in this procurement subreddit. It feels like procurement involves similar skills, and it feels like procurement involves similar skills to dealing with clients which might be transferable. Even though I've been reading quite a lot before preparing seriously, I still need your advice on whether it's worth it. Procurement. What advice would you give me to prepare myself better? Should I target MNCs only, or is it fine to work with any company in the beginning? What specific positions do you think I should apply for? And what's an MNC?
Multinational, yeah.
Yeah, cool. What was the first question? What advice would you give me to prepare myself better? Well, I guess the basics. Ones that I'm sure they would have done already is get an understanding and knowledge of what procurement is, what the principles of procurement are, and basically the skills that you're going to need to have to be a good procurement professional. Then, should I target MNCs only? Well, what are your thoughts on should Mysterious Tech target MNCs only, or is it fine to work with any company?
I think it's fine to work with any company. I think if you go to a smaller company, you'll have more exposure and you'll get other elements that maybe aren't in the typical procurement role that you can learn as well, or you can showcase. If you like Galos, it might be hard to get a role in any of the things, and you need to get your foot in the door first to then start your procurement career. So I wouldn't just focus on one particular type of company or anything like that. But also, I mean, if he's testing one of his SaaS products, educational tech SaaS products, I mean, it sounds like a bit of an entrepreneur as well. So it's a bit of a weird to be entrepreneurial and then go into a procurement career, which isn't very entrepreneurial in its nature. Is he not backing his business?
So, yeah.
What's the catch there, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's just they want a second or first income, primary income, to then support the
hobby.
Yeah,
the hustle.
Maybe it's a language thing, but it says, I used to run my own marketing agency, and right now I'm testing one of my SaaS products.
Yeah.
Now that we're here to criticise grammar, in terms of specific positions to apply for, this is another weird thing about procurement in that it's not really defined. No. I don't know, you don't have a junior accountant, which means these set of responsibilities. Common entry-level job titles could be like buyer, for example, junior buyer, or if it's a category-based organisation, sometimes they'll have like something category officer, for example, as a report to a category manager.
Apprenticeships.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, apprenticeships definitely. Analyst roles.
Yeah, I think equally you can look at things that are like say buyer, category manager. It might not necessarily have junior in front of it either. So a lot of the time you do have to read into the descriptions of the roles, which is always a funny one because you kind of know when you actually get the job it'll be slightly different to whatever it was. But equally you can kind of in the kind of essentials section they normally say should have CIPS or should be working towards CIPS or should have 3 years experience in this industry or whatever, and that kind of gives you a better indicator of how junior or senior the role is.
We have replied to direct questions in the past, haven't we? People have got in touch on our email, which I can remember is 2lukes1sip@gmail.com. Number 2, Luke's plural. Number 1, CIP@gmail.com. Or obviously the text us function, which Galos G1 did get in touch on. We also had it Instagram, let's_talk_procurement. And yeah, those are the ways to get in touch with us. Be your agony Lukes.
I love it. Mate, it's been a real pleasure, honestly. Thank you so much for making the time. Hopefully the listeners will appreciate it. And obviously wish you all the best on your travels as you carry on. But any time you need a brief respite and you want to think about the corporate world again, you always know where I am, all right?
So we won't leave it so long till next time.
Yeah. Have you seen the length of my beard? I'm not trimming my beard until we've done 5 episodes.
Is this like that guy who's not cutting his hair until Man U win 5 games in a row or something?
Yeah, and he's basically dying under the weight of it.
Yeah. Could be a long beard.
Nice one. All right, mate. Well, look, I'll see you later.
See you later.